Network, and we're broadcasting to you live through Be Live TV and into Facebook land. Hello. Glad to have you guys here with me this evening. Soul Connections is all about helping you connect to your own soul, your own wisdom, your own guidance, and what that has to show you. And I'm here to help be your transformational guide, helping you connect to what is you and what your higher self and your team wants you to know and work on and heal. Because we all have that ability inside and out of us. So welcome again. And for those of you who are here early, you know the drill. If you could share this out into Facebook land by liking and sharing the broadcast, that would be fantastic, because that's how we reach people who maybe need a little guidance or just a little healing, a little TLC. That's what we're all here for. So tonight's cards that I'm going to pull from after the meditation are by Sonia Choquette. They're the deck that's called The Answer is Simple. And I love these cards because they're very straightforward. They're very basic. It's not hard to misunderstand what the card means. And it's easy for us to really find that when we're looking for guidance, it's usually not very complicated. And it's probably something we've already known. We just need a little reassurance. At least that's how I experience it. I can have those nudges that saying, do this, do this, do this. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then I hear from, one of my guided friends, and they say the same exact thing. And I'm like, yep, I've been hearing that. I was just ignoring it maybe. So that's what's here. And that's why The Answer is Simple feels like the right deck for us this right now. Things are a little chaotic. So how do we work our way through all the shifts and all the changes? And all it is one day at a time. So this is just giving us a heads up on what's up for us this week. Maybe even just for the next couple of days, because things are moving and shifting so rapidly, which is really cool. I wanted to let people know that if you are in a space where you are ready to start creating your own reality, creating what you want in your life, we've had all this upheaval, and now it's time for us to do some conscious creation, some setting some intentions and seeing the ways to do this in a brand new way. Then I invite you to join my Star Nations class next week. It's manifesting in multi-dimensions, as well as accessing your inner child to help you with that. And the interesting thing that has been coming up is the energy of the way we used to manifest, the way we started to shift our manifestation, and where it's headed now. So if you would like to learn more about that, I invite you to go to starnations.org and sign up for that class. It's next Thursday night, right after chakra sessions. And it's an hour and a half, and there'll be a lot of juicy nuggets and a lot of channeled wisdom from the Ancient One on how we can go about creating our new reality after all of this upheaval and change is done. So if that's something that interests you, I encourage you to join us for that. And yeah, I'm looking very much forward to that, because that has been, project in the making with a number of us from Star Nations. Our Star Nations radio host, Maureen Mann and Ed Langen, have already done their manifestation classes, which you can tap into their recordings. They're fantastic. Maureen really gave some fantastic information about using our angelic connections to start to move our manifestation more into the fourth dimension, and the ways we can be conscious about that. Ed was talking about, the law of attraction and how that is shifting. And so then you have me coming out next week, and then Neshi brings it home in May for how to manifest from your heart, and really from the high heart, from your higher self, and that really fantastic place of unconditional love. With that, so tonight I just wanted to give people a heads up. I had an allergic reaction on Monday evening. So it caused a little bit of disturbance in my energy field. So we're playing it by ear, how long my session will go. My show will go tonight. So just know that I'm going to do my best, but I'm also going to pay attention to what my physical body is saying, because I don't want to, run myself out. And many of you know I have some pretty strong allergies, and it's just one of those things where they change the ingredients in my toothpaste, of all things, and put cranberries in it, cranberry extract, which I'm highly allergic to, and didn't realize it. So, it got in there and gave me a hard time. But that's how that energy goes. So we're going to play it by ear for how long I'm going to go tonight. And hopefully it'll go all the way to the end as normal, but we'll see. So we're going to get started with the meditation so that I can use my energy and my resources to their fullest. So if you want a card pulled, keep putting in, yes, please. And like I said, I'll get to people as best as I can. So take a deep breath. Let's do one more. Just want to get back into our physical body. So we're going to call in the divine energy however we perceive that, whether we connect to God or Goddess, oneness, unity, consciousness, all that is. And we're going to ask the divine energy to surround and protect us in a bubble of infinite love and infinite light. Creating a sacred space for us to do our healing work and to receive our guidance and connect to our teams. Where we feel safe and secure. And we're going to invite in our spiritual teams, our angels, our guides, our ancestors, the star beings, all divine of the highest, fullest, and brightest vibration and frequency available to us in each and every dimension. And we set the intention, as always, that the healing work that is done here is for the good of all and harm to none. Including ourselves. And we're going to ask our heart to ground our energy so that we feel deeply connected with the earth plane, Grandmother Earth, the divine feminine, as well as the center of creation, connected in a strand to all that is and the divine masculine. and asking that energy to anchor through our heart in each and every dimension and direction that we are connected to. And beginning at the top of our head at the crown, gently releasing any energy that is blocking our connection to our higher self, to all that is. Releasing any doubt or worry that we've been carrying there. Opening our perception so that we may see more clearly the messages and the guidance from our team, from others, and from ourselves. Opening up all the pathways of communication with our spiritual team. Opening our throat to speak our authentic truth. And expand our ways of creative being, creative thinking, releasing all the stress and the tension in our neck, all the responsibilities and burdens we are carrying upon our shoulders, for ourselves, for others, even for the planet. Opening up our heart and our lungs to breathe the life force more fully. Radiating out through our auric layers to cleanse, clear, and reboost our immune system. Surrounding and protecting our inner child so it feels safe and secure, held and taken care of. Releasing old grief, sadness, disappointment. And as the energy begins to move down, releasing our fear, our anxiety and worry. The righteous anger that we may be carrying. The judgment and resentment. That we carry toward others or reflect back at ourselves. Moving the energy down and releasing any emotions that we've held on to unexpressed. Allowing them to gently wash away in the element of water within our body. Grounding into the earth plane. Restoring balance to our interactions with others. And even our connection to ourselves. Grounding the energy down into our root, our foundation. And releasing any other energy that has us feeling unsafe, insecure, unsteady in any way. Grounding our feet and our legs into a place of balance and harmony. So that we can feel more sure-footed as we walk these unsteady times, these shifting new energies, this new paradigm. And releasing all of the energy into the very molten lava center of Grandmother Earth's heart. Allowing her love to transmute and transform that energy back into the original energy of creation. And allowing our energy to be nourished and filled with her unconditional love through our feet, our legs, feeling the energy as it loves and supports us at the same time. As we move gently up our legs into our pelvic floor, feeling our torso and our spine. Feeling the heart radiating out our arms in every direction, above, below, in front, behind, on either side, and even radiating deep within. Moving up through the throat and out the top of the head. And sending the energy all the way up to the center of creation. Feeling the unity of above and below within, the fullness and completeness that comes in and around us. If you have any areas of pain or discomfort, any emotions, thoughts, or beliefs that are giving you difficulty, just simply allow the divine energy to break it apart and dissolve it. Allowing space for new possibilities and new energies to enter. And taking a deep breath. Begin returning your energy into the present moment, into your physical body. Noticing your connection to yourself and this moment. Feeling your arms and your fingers and your toes, your body. Gently bringing your energy back to where it is. Okay. Whew, that was interesting. So again, I want to remind you that the card deck we're using tonight is The Answer is Simple by Sonia Choquette. I will pull the cards in the order that they were requested, that showed up in our production studio. I'm going to pull cards as long as I am able to, but it may be a little short today because my energy is not at 100%. So we'll see how we do. So the messages may be quicker too, so I can get to everyone. So the first one is for Rob Coulter. So your card is Step Away from the Crowd. So what I'm hearing for you is don't be one of the sheeple. And so sheeple is a term that a lovely woman named Maria Salamo Schmidt has used. I don't know if she got it from someone else, but sheeple is when you follow the herd, the herd mentality of, everybody's doing it, so I should do it. So this is telling you that energy, that vibration isn't working any longer. And so it's time for you to carve your own path in your own way. And sometimes that takes a little quiet meditation to really check inward on what's the right path for me at this moment. And when you do that, continue to take action in that direction. And it's moving away from that sort of zombie mentality, that we blindly follow. And you're not somebody who does that anyways, but it's really time to separate yourself and forge your own path. All right. Kate. Nice. Dare to be happy. Sometimes we have people around us who have spent most of their life depressed. And if we grew up with a parent with depression or some other type of energy that's similar to that, we often feel like we need permission to be happy. And so we'll have moments of happiness, but there's this fear that we shouldn't be happy too much because then there'll be this crash of sadness, as if it's an either or situation. So, he's running on a tightrope, carrying her on her shoulders while she's throwing flowers. And so it's that you can rely on other people, but you make your own happiness. And don't hold back just because someone else is unhappy. You don't have to dim your happiness because they're not. Maybe it's time for you to just shine your happiness so they can try to find their own. All right, Jackie. Your card is it's not an emergency. So a lot of energy right now. There's this sense of urgency that people are feeling when we get in our survival body, when our fight, flight, freeze response is triggered. We feel like we have to do it now, or it has to happen the second, or we get in that revved up energy. And it's not life or death. The decisions you have right now are not that crucial. So give yourself time to formulate a new answer rather than just going with how you've always done it. It's not about how quickly we get things done. It's about doing them in alignment with what brings us joy. So take the sense of urgency out of any situation to the best of your ability. And if it needs to sit overnight or 2 nights or a week to get the urgency energy out, then do that. Because there's nothing right now that is that important that it can't wait until you're ready to be in the best mindset you can be for creating change. All right, Lisa. Your card, Lisa, is to have fun. And notice she's on that merry-go-round, that inner child. So, the inner child gets really bored. And maybe a bunch of us are having that sensation because we aren't able to do as much as we would normally do, or we're so used to doing constantly that sitting with ourselves, we don't know what to do. So how do you like to have fun? And how can you recreate that? And it may be baking new things. It may be creating an art project that nobody has to see. It can be experimenting with different scents. There's all sorts of things that you can try. But do it from a child perspective. Like there isn't a right way or wrong way to do it. It's the fun of doing it. That's important. So put on some music that makes you laugh, dance around, whatever it is, but bring that joy element in, and think like a child, be like a child, because that's the energy that will help heal you and help heal the planet. All right. Thanks, sweetie. Lynn. So your card is be courageous. So what I'm sensing for you is that, when we are about to make change, sometimes it's scary. We've done things the same way, and now it's time to do things completely new and different. And it takes a little bit of courage to take that first step in a brand new direction. But, in that card, she's not by herself, right? She's on the white horse, the stallion. So think of the fact that you're riding forward on the back of Creator, right? On the back of the divine, and that you're not by yourself. You're fully guarded and protected as you make this new step. And it may feel like this big leap at this moment, but 3 months from now, you'll be like, what was I so afraid of? And most of the time, it's just the fear itself that we're afraid of, not the chance or the opportunity. So pull on that energy and call it in and go for it. All right. All right, Ellen. So yours is give it to God. What I'm seeing, see the balloons going up in the air. I'm feeling like if you had on the string of it's like write down a list of all your worries and your fears on paper. And if you tied them to a string of a balloon and set them free, letting them go in that way. I mean, don't do that because of the environment and birds and stuff like that. But that's the visual that I'm getting. So what you could do is you could write them individually on pieces of paper and put them on your altar. You could burn them. You could crumple them and, say a blessing on them and throw them out. But do some sort of ritual of taking your worries, writing them down so they're grounded onto paper, and then giving them away. And then don't think about them again. If it comes in, it's like, nope, I already handed that to my team. They're taking care of it. Nope, I delegated that to my team. They're taking care of it. So that you don't keep going over and over worrying about the same thing. Right? You can even hand over big stuff to your team to take care of. Politicians, hand it over to your team. This is what I'm worried about. You guys take care of it. Thanks. Okay. All right, my dear. All right, Anne. So your card is to clean up your mess. So she, did all these creative things, right? Created these wonderful trees, and now there's stuff to clear up and clean up after. So I don't know if it's literally you've been home and doing creative stuff and you need to clean up your mess, which I could definitely see because I know being at home where it's difficult. Sometimes we got more mess to clean up. But the other piece of that is that, as things sort of fell apart and we're recreating, it's like there are like unfinished pieces that we can clean up. The saying we're sorry to someone who maybe we snapped at because we were having a rough day and they said the wrong thing to us in that moment and we took it the wrong way. That kind of mess you can clean up. But it also could be quite literal, like where in your life is there a mess? Where has it gotten disorganized? Because it's very difficult to create in disorganization, because the mess attracts our energy and our attention. And then we don't have as much energy and attention to feed into what we want to create. So look at both and see what one resonates for you and get on that. We all need to get on that. All right, Andrew. So your card is decide the outcome. And I kind of want you to see that it's a judge who's got a glass of wine and a waiter. So it's an interesting thing. But, the politicians can have that kind of wig too. But so right now, you have a number of ways you can go. We all do, right? Because we're meant to reevaluate what we're doing and how we're doing it. And this is no longer a time where we blame anybody else for what's going on or how it's going on. It's our time to decide what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. And that makes us accountable too for where we go. So right now it's decide what is in alignment with you. So what I'm seeing is what's going to give you the opportunity to create the music you love and the food you love, and in balance. And I'm not sure what that looks like. It may be a place that, you can cook and then play music later in the night when they just offer appetizers and drinks or something. I don't know. But how do you have harmony with that? But you get to decide how that plays out and how balanced your life is when it comes to that. Does that make sense? All right. Joanne, making a big decision tonight. Okay. So it's saying decorate. I don't know if that makes sense to what you're asking, but so what I'm hearing is that in terms of decorate, it's about what brings beauty into our lives, what creates joy, what makes our energy and our environment feel lighter and brighter. So you want to lean in that direction. So in terms of making a big decision, it's not a great time for that for anybody. But if it needs to happen right now, then you need to lean into what's putting you or in the direction of your heart and what brings you joy, brings you happiness, less about the money. We're all learning in this new energy, in this chaos, that what brings us joy isn't things. It's our health, it's our well-being, and it's having more balance between work and home. So what will beautify your energy, what will beautify your life, that's what you want to lean into. So I hope that helps. All right, Deborah. So your card is lend a hand. I am not someone who can go on one of those bridges. I have definite height things that go on with that. So what I'm getting for you around this is that your energy right now is you're in a pretty good place, and there's some people around you who maybe aren't. So how can you lend a hand? And when we're people who lend a hand, we're caught in this energy that we're, stuck at home, or we're stuck distanced. And how can we lend a hand? Well, we can lend a hand by lending an ear. We can lend a hand by filling a need someone has, like if you've got toilet paper and somebody else doesn't, well, send them some, because that's saying, hey, we're all in this together, right? And maybe it's, noticing someone around you who's overwhelmed, and maybe you can pitch in a different way. Even if it's just for a short period of time, just to take the pressure off of them. That's how we do things together. And when we start acting like a unit, like all of us are important and all of us are needed, we can find our way that we can help out. And it's very fulfilling when we get an opportunity to do that. I've been doing nightly healings every single night for a couple months now for different people who need healing, because that's what's being called for. So that's how I'm lending hand, and you'll find your way. Okay. Thanks, dear. We need you. Lisa. Hi, dear. So your card is you are not afraid. This is the David and Goliath energy, right? So sometimes our fears are bigger than we are, right? Or we've created a giant, a mountain out of a molehill kind of energy. And so when we get caught in the fear, we don't take action. But when we can look at the energy and go, this is not as daunting as other people are making it out to be, or it's not as big a deal as I've been making it, you release the fear and you find the courage. And when you find the courage, you can face anything. You can face change. You can face people who have felt overpowering or overwhelming, or face the bully energy and call it what it is. But when we let fear rule our lives, we feel small and insignificant. When we hold our heart and our love space open, we feel in that space the equality between all, so that there's no better or less than. And then when we're in that space, there's no need to be afraid, because any task is surmountable. Does that make sense? All right, let go of that fear. All right, Minnie. Oh, this is sweet for you. So this is open your heart. Notice all the transformational butterflies that are flying out of the heart once it's wide open. And you're someone who does this on a regular basis. So this is just expanding your heart into new dimensions. Tapping into the unconditional love, the high heart energy, and seeing how long you can hold that. And notice when it closes down. What causes it to begin to close down? Is it worry? Is it anxiety? Is it fear? Is it news? Is it pressure? So not that we want to place blame, it's noticing what we react to and when we start to close our heart. And knowing that we can be courageous and stand up to the energy that formerly had us react in closing down our expansive love. Does that make sense? So notice when your heart begins to guard itself, and take note of that, because it doesn't need to. And call in the high heart and ask for it to help surround and support your heart in its ability to stay wide open. It'll transform a lot of energies for you. Nice for all of us. Thanks. Margaret. So your card, Margaret, is turn on the light. And what I'm seeing is that's saying is like, shine yourself, shine what's bright within you. What are your gifts, and let them shine for everybody to see, because we need those to brighten all the darkness right now. And how can you get out there and shine your light? Do you share your art or your music or your wisdom, or your laughter? What is it? How do you light up the room? And right now you need to turn it up a notch. I'm seeing, the lamps that have like the 3 settings on them, like 1 is just one brightness, 2 is brighter, 3 is the brightest. So it's like you need to click it up a notch. So turn it on and let it shine out there, because other people really need it. They're having a hard time finding their own light right now. All right. Marie. Hi, dear. So your card is to say no. So I'm feeling like, this is a very like, there's a very like, oh, there's a guy trying to bring you flowers and candy and be like, I love you. And you're like, no. Listen to your truth, and go with what your heart says, and don't be afraid to say no. Again, lots of times we feel pressured into doing what other people think is the right thing, and it's not right for us. It's not right for our journey, our soul, any of that. And so learn to say no. And sometimes we've got to say no, again, we're in closed spaces right now, And so boundaries are really getting tested, and maybe you need to say no more often than you used to, because that's the only way you're going to have your own personal space. And, don't go into that old energy of feeling bad about asking for what you need, because what you need is important. It also teaches others that what they need is important too. So use the N word a little more often. You're so sweet, but it's time to say no. All right, dear. Kimberly Duquette. Hi, sweetheart. So this is Celebrate You. And we all celebrate you, my little nurse friend. So how are you taking care of you? How are you celebrating your victories, your accomplishments? How are you patting yourself on the back? Do it, because not everybody will do it for you. When we wait for the applause from others, we make their opinion more important than our own. So I'm seeing like buying yourself flowers, or getting yourself a gift, or taking a tubby and having candles, or, a glass of wine, or whatever, whatever feels right for you. And just celebrating that, you're one tough cookie. You've been getting through some amazingly hard things, and trusting your intuition and going with it. And you deserve it. You deserve the applause. You deserve the recognition, and your team is giving it to you, whether the people around you are or not. All right, sweetie. Congratulations. All right, Genevieve. All right. So your card is Connect with Your Soul Family. So a number of us have like soul sisters, or we have our spiritual community. And that's what it's calling for right now. Those people that feel like family that maybe aren't. And, there's so much isolation that, maybe you just need to phone a friend, create a conference call where you get on a call with a bunch of them, and y'all have a chat, or share a cup of tea or something like that. But part of the isolation is for us to learn how to stay connected even when we're apart. And when we need love and support, we reach out to our soul family. Because if you're feeling that need to connect, then there are like 2 or 3 other people who need it too, and haven't found the courage to ask. So, and also remember, nobody fills us up like the people who get us the best. So talking to them and bouncing ideas off of them can be really healing, a really healing thing for ourselves and for them. So reach out to whoever that is for you. And I would do it sooner than later, because I feel like there's a couple people who need it besides you. All right. Thanks, sweetie. Kimberly Griffiths. So your card is Clear the Fog. So when I see the fog, it usually means that there's a bunch of ideas swirling in our head, or thoughts or beliefs, and we're having difficulty seeing clearly. Our third eye perception is off. So clearing away the fog is grounding that energy. So I'm seeing, writing, doing automatic writing, getting it all anchored and down. It may be like Genevieve, like calling a friend and, bouncing what's swirling, asking if they are able to listen, able or willing to listen, and just spew, and then have them, tell you what they heard. So maybe you can get some clarity on all of that smog, because it actually feels more like smog than fog. Like it's like polluted thought energy. So you want to clear away the cobwebs and make some space, because it's not a time to make a decision until you can kind of get that out of the way. It's almost like there's really old thoughts that are in there that, you know, I might even call in Archangel Raphael with a vacuum cleaner and suck that stuff out, like vacuum in your thoughts and in your brains to get the old junk out. I don't know. That's just the visual I saw. All right. Have fun with that, Kimberly. Barbie. So your card, sweetie, is spread the light. They're like these little fairies with these little, I don't know, lights that they're showing. So yours is very similar, where it's like shine your light and let your light get out there to people who need it. It's funny, yours I see a little differently than just sharing your gift. I'm seeing more like, how can you lighten the mood for other people? And I'm seeing like writing cards, you know, sending out little notes to people, saying, thinking of you, you know, feel free to call me if you need somebody to chat with, but thought of you today and you brought a smile to my face or something, and sending those out. You know, they can be messenger or video or email or whatever, but I'm actually seeing like actual notes, you know, because a lot of people, they don't have a lot of interaction with people outside. And so receiving some mail might be nice. But it's like, how do you spread some light and some joy, light in the mood, light in the, and laughter? How can you bring laughter to people around you? All right, sweetie. Cindy, nice to have you. So your card is start anew. You were a caterpillar, now you're a butterfly. You're starting to fly. And that's what this energy is right now on the planet. It's, we were stuck in one way of being. And basically we all got put in timeout and we're being required to come out of timeout differently, with a different approach to our lives, to our family, to our happiness, all of that. And so it's time to start anew. And I guess for you, maybe there's some new that can already start. So anything that's ready to birth already, I get going, because we need new blood and new energy to start flowing out there, because we got really stuck in our old routine and the old way of things. Thank you for that, Cindy. Kylie. All right. Hello. So your card is reclaim your art. She's got a violin. She's pulling down off the shelf. So have you put aside your art somehow? And art can be music and dance and poetry and, you know, art. I mean, it can be baking, it can be sewing, it can be gardening, decorating. What is your art? And why did you put it on the shelf? Did you get too busy, or did you think you weren't good enough? Whatever the reason was, it was an excuse at the time, but it's not true any longer. Art and creativity brings our inner child out, which brings our joy out. So how can you bring your joy out? I know a number of people who've picked up musical instruments they haven't played in years in this isolation because it's what used to bring them joy, and they're finding it again. And it helps heal and soothe your soul when we do those things. So I'm inviting you to do that and to find that, and know that other people need it too. So maybe you can remind some other people near you that they can do it too. All right. Thanks, sweetie, for being here. Jessica. This is a hard one. It says change the scenery. It's like, how can we change the scenery? We're all caught inside. But we can, right? So you can rearrange your furniture. You can shift out. I mean, I know a bunch of people who are painting, their houses and things. They've been wanting to do it for a long time and didn't, or they're, I've been putting together organization in a different way, and even just moving things like, the rug went one way and it's going a different way. And it's because that allows us to shift our perception. It also shifts energy. When we have it the same way all the time, energy gets trapped, energy gets stuck. So think of like spring cleaning. But I am seeing shifting color for you. So if you've been using one particular color palette, maybe finding a way to add other color palettes. And I know that's kind of hard right now, but maybe you have like a blanket that's the color that speaks to you right now. And you could put that at the foot of your bed or on the back of your sofa or something like that, that can just bring in that new energy, new perspective. That's what the new scenery is about. If this were normal times, I'd be like, go for a drive or change your living space. So find a way to do that. All right. Nice. April. Hi, dear. So this is the turn back card. So it feels like there's a lot of confusion. You've been kind of weaving your way through things. It feels a little bit like a maze. And it's like you headed down the wrong path, and it's like, wait a minute, this doesn't feel right. It's because it's not right. And there's no shame in turning back and starting again. So that's, maybe you were trying some new ideas on for size, which is good. But this particular one is not the one, which is not often what I hear from my team or anybody else's team. But it's clear that you need to go back a couple steps and try again. Like where you were at a crossroads and making a decision, it's like, okay, go back to that spot and try again. Which is fine because it seems like it's early enough that it's not a big deal. But it's about something that feels like it's been really confusing and you can't figure it out and all of that. It's like, it's because you're not anywhere near where the direction you want to be. So start back where you felt clear and concise and move forward again from there. All right. Troy. Love this. Keep dancing. And they're dancing on the beach at the ocean. I can't wait to be able to do that again soon when they open those beaches back up. So literally keep dancing. Put on some music and move around and get your energy moving. Don't feel like you need to get stuck. And dancing has a way of, lightening our load and allowing our inner child to just feel free and abandoned. And it also helps us get more comfortable in our own body. So sometimes just moving and allowing, it doesn't have to be anything fantastic, but sometimes it's just enough to get energy flowing the way we want it to. And the cool thing is right now, there's a lot of DJs who are broadcasting live because, you know, they're used to doing their stuff and playing their music is their joy. And so there's a number who are doing it randomly. And so I've done a couple dance party kind of things with a live DJ who's just playing music, and it's fun to jump around and dance for a few songs and laugh it out. So keep dancing. It'll keep your heart light and happy. All right, Rhonda. So your card is the Drop It card. So in a hot air balloon, when you drop the weight, it allows you to rise up, right? Because the more weighted down you are with old sand and old baggage, the more you can only fly to a certain height. So you drop the sand so you can go higher. So what is it that you could drop right now that it would allow your energy to go higher? What old thing are you hanging on to? You know, and what I'm feeling is, you know, if you have an old grudge, an old resentment, drop it, let it go. It's, you know, when we spin in the, you know, coulda, woulda, shoulda, it doesn't go anywhere, and we can't get out of that cycle. But if we cut our ties to that, cut the cords to that, and just allow it to drop off of us, that's the most healing thing we can do for ourselves and for anyone else. And it'll allow your energy to go where it wants to go. So look for the things that are spinning in your head, or things that you talk about in your past repeatedly. And those are the things you need to drop because they're not serving you. You want to be in the present and looking toward your future. All right. Jackie. Your card is Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. I love the little mouse on the bear, right? No big deal. So we all have little challenges that are coming up, and at the moment, because of how tightly we're wound, it can feel huge. Like we can't handle one more thing going on. So we get into overwhelm from just one little thing. And don't give your power away in that way, sweetie. Really try to understand, like, this is really not a big deal. And again, is it an emergency? Is it urgent? No. Well, then I don't need to worry about it. I don't need to focus all of my energy on it. You know, if it's not life or death, it's not a big deal. So try not to let those things pile up and overwhelm you. And when they do, take a break. Take a break. Take a step away. Do something else. But again, that's when we give our power away, is when we let those little tiny things feel huge. And they're just not. All right. So let it go. All right. Sandy. Hi, dear. So your card is Take No Offense. And so, you know, what I'm seeing is, you know, he's making his face, you know, and we could take it personally or think it was directed at us, and we have no idea if it is or not, right? And this goes back to the 4 agreements. You know, don't take things personally. You know, you have no idea what's going on in someone else's head. You don't know what their stress is like. You don't know how they respond to stress, right? And so there are times people lash out and just because they have so much trapped energy, it just bubbles out. But you don't have to take it for them. You don't have to scoop it up and go, oh, it's mine. It's more like, oh, here, you dropped this. And you can smile your way through it and be like, yeah, it's not mine. You know, that is completely theirs. So just know right now, while people are on edge, that we're not all in a place to be our best selves yet, right? Because we're working to release all the things that have gripped us in fear for so long. And it has nothing to do with us. It's all about them. So just do your best not to take things personally, especially if people are snippy around you. Nothing to do with you. All right. Jackie, the other Jackie. Hello, dear. So your card is the Rebel card. And the Rebel card is, what I'm seeing about this is just be yourself. And if yourself is not what other people want you to be, too bad. Be you. Get the colored hair if you need to, and wear the funky leather jacket. And, you know, if you want a pink bicycle with training wheels and the fringe on them, go for it. Don't let somebody else say stop, right? Stop, you can't do that. It's your life and your body and your choice. So yeah, you can. And when we hand control over to someone else to make those decisions for us, then we lose a piece of who we are. So it's like, don't let your significant other tell you who to be or how to be. Don't let your family tell you who to be and how to be, or don't let society tell you that either. Just be you, because there's only one Jackie. Even if there's multiple people with that name, there's only you. And we need you for a particular reason. So just be you. Love it. All right, Emily. So your card is Fill the Well. So what I see when it fill the well, it's the, it's all about, you know, there's so many times when we have to dive into the well and take the water and use it for fuel. So filling the well is what are you doing for self-care? What are you doing to fill yourself up? You know, right now we're taking care of so many other people sometimes, and we're spread thin, even though we're, you know, in isolation. It's like we're giving our energy away. We're leaking our energy away, and we're getting depleted. So you need some time to fill it. So what fills your soul? Is it quiet time? Is it meditating? Is it writing? Is it taking a nap? Is it singing? Is it playing games? Like, what fills you up? That's what you want to be focused on right now. And take a little time to do that, because this also is a way to protect your immune system and help you stay healthy and strong. Because when we get exhausted and depleted, then our immune system starts to tank. And that is not going to help you right now, because we all need to have a nice, strong, healthy immune system, just in case, right? Right? We want to be able to be in our best health. All right. Tina. Hi, sweetie. So your card, sweetie, is listen to the music. And for you, I'm seeing that quite literally. Like, you need some music to fill you up. What music calls to you? What music speaks to you? I'm sensing, well, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing native dancers dancing and drumming and singing and moving and just that rhythm and that beat, moving up through you and filling you. So I don't know if there's music like that speaks to you. A lot of the earth rhythm music speaks to me that way, when there's that deep drumming and that sense where you have to move. So I'm seeing like that music will start to fill you from the ground up. It's like the earth mother is shaking beneath you, and she's trying to fill you up with music and the sensations that come from moving and singing and dancing with the music. It's like you become one with the music. So it's not just listening with your ears, it's feeling with your body, the music. It's like your body needs energetic tuning, and the music will work like a tuning fork through your chakras, shaking them up a little bit, but getting you back, shaking off what isn't yours and what isn't working for you, and bringing you back more to who you are. So start playing some music, sweetie. Linda, nice to have you. Yeah, I'm feeling okay right now, so we're going to go for it. So your card is Put Others First. Just an interesting card. And so what I'm seeing for this is as we're taking care of ourselves, it's part of the isolating is so that we're taking care of other people, rather than, we're covering our mouth so we don't catch it. The reality is we're covering our mouth so we don't spread it. So it's in reverse order. It's the energy of how do we keep the most people safe? And it's like, well, we'll protect the most people by staying in and not being out there spreading, but also by covering our mouths and our hands and whatnot. So in this energy of putting others first, we make some decisions about, is this crucial for me right now? And I'm going to choose to put other people, their needs ahead of mine. So it's things like, the grocery store workers, for example, right? That they've got to be there, and we all need food. But if we plan out our meals for a month in advance, then we're going to the store once a month rather than once a week. So we're reducing the amount of time we're exposing them, or we're also reducing their load on how many people they have to deal with, right? Does that make sense? So it's things like that. Like, how can you, that's the big one. It's not just about groceries, but it's about all things that are kind of like that. How do we put other people first in that scenario? And in a way, that's how we put ourselves first too. All right. Okay. Elfine, nice name, like that. So your card is Invest in Your Spirit. So what are you doing right now to work on your spiritual side? What are you doing that is connecting you to your spirit? Are you having moments of prayer or meditation? Are you connecting by reading cards or using your pendulum or a dowse, using runes or anything like that, any divination tools? Are you working on yoga or your breath work? All of those things, when you do things that put your spiritual well-being, is just as important as our physical well-being. And sometimes we forget to do that. And so when I see this card about investing in your spirit, it's like, how much time, because time is an investment and money is an investment. So how much time are you putting into reconnecting with your spirit and remembering that you are spirit and that you are divinely connected? And how much are you using time to speak with your spiritual team and look for guidance? However you do that, some of it do it through shows like this. And some of us do it through reading, or like I said, meditating or quiet time. So it's calling on you to spend a little more time on that and bring it into balance. Because our energy body is in harmony when our physical and our spiritual bodies are like yin yang. They're in sync and they're being used equally. All right. Cindy Lynn. So your card, my dear, is say thank you. So, there are people who've been doing a lot for us, behind the scenes or in front of the scenes, and we sometimes take them for granted. So this is a time for us to really show our gratitude to a lot of people, and saying thank you to people who aren't expecting it can really shift and change. And there's so many ways to say thank you. I mean, literally you can just say thank you, but you can have those moments of, giving a card or giving flowers or making dinner or, calling someone up. It's that appreciation and gratitude and showing people that they matter to us or what they do matters for us. And so it really shifts the quality when we spend more time in gratitude and saying thank you for those little things, because those little things we're starting to learn a lot right now are quite big, right? Because they're things that we wouldn't necessarily want to do, but we're very thankful for the people who are doing them. All right, nice. Amy. So your card is give more. See, the poor little squirrel feels all stranded, all alone, and the other one's like, here, I've got this pine cone. I'm willing to share it. So in the give more, it's like, how can you give more of yourself, of your time, of your energy? And that can feel like, I give so much, It doesn't have to be physical, but it can be. It can be sharing toilet paper with your neighbor. It could be just lending an ear, knowing that somebody is, there's a number of people in this time of isolation that are living alone. And so, they've always been a rock, they've always been this, but maybe this is something, people who are social, who are having to be inside isolated, they're not necessarily having a good time of it. So we can give by, listening to them, letting them vent, we can give by, just sharing what we've got. We are a global community. And sometimes we forget that. And so to create balance and harmony in the global community, are we in the haves or the have-nots? And if we're in the haves, then who can we share who maybe doesn't have at the moment, even if it's just emotionally? Okay. All right. Jacqueline. Nice. So your card is just laugh. And life throws us surprises, right? Even when we see them coming, when it pops up, right? We can go into fear or we can go into laughter, and laughter heals a lot more. So as things are shifting and changing and Life is throwing us curveballs that we're not expecting. Rather than moaning, groaning, and complaining, is there a way to find the humor in it? Right? It's like, okay, then, you've got 2 more weeks of being isolated with me. Aren't you excited? Rather than being like, oh no, we have 2 more weeks and da 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 da. You could just be like, all right, so we need another, Golden Girls marathon to make us laugh, whatever it is. Just find the humor in our discomfort, right? Rather than going into the old pattern of complaining and whining about things. How about we just laugh at ourselves, laugh at the situation, and be like, all right, it's going to change sometime. But for now, I'm just going to laugh about it. All right. Okay, Lynette. So your card is be patient. And this is interesting to me because like everybody's waiting for a trip down the slide, right? And so we're all going to get a chance. We're all going to get to play. We're all going to get to do what we're meant to do. But some people are going to do them at slightly different times, different paces. And so this is just a time right now where you need to be patient. Things have not solidified. Things have not shifted enough for us to be in a place where new action can be taken. Our world is still shifting and changing, and we have to wait for it to be ready. And it's for our health. It's for our well-being. It's for our safety. So it's one of those hurry up and wait situations. And when we learn patience, we can carry that lesson with us to all sorts of things in the future, where we let go of that sense of urgency and we just go, it's going to come when it's going to come. And I can't force when it's going to come. It's going to happen in divine timing. And I don't know what that is, but I'm okay because I can tell it's coming. And just have fun you don't have to be sitting there waiting, twiddling your thumbs. You can do something that speaks to your soul while you're waiting, right? Play, have fun. All right, Carol. So your energy, my dear, is stick with it. It's kind of like Jack and the Beanstalk. He's just climbing and climbing. So right now, things might feel a little insurmountable. That gets us in that energy of overwhelm. So you just take it one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time, whatever bite-sized chunk you can take it in, and just stick with it. And do your best to stay in positive thought, positive thinking. And when you start to switch to fear, worry, or overwhelm or anything like that, take a deep breath, give yourself a timeout, change your scenery, whether that's go into another room and turn on some music or turn on the TV and veg for a half an hour. Give yourself permission to do that and then get back at it. Because you are moving forward. It just, at the moment, there's no visible finish line. And that's okay. Your team is just saying, just keep at it because you're doing a great job. And even though you can't see the end, they can. And you're headed in that direction. All right, nice. Karen, hi, sweetie. Haven't seen you in a while. I can see this one. Blow off some steam. So, that's pretty self-explanatory. We get angry at a lot of different things. And when that old anger kind of comes up and we're just like, oh my God, I can't take it anymore. We need to blow off some steam. We need to yell. We need to scream. We need to take a bat to the sofa or the bed or a pillow. Maybe we need to turn on some, heavy music and sing it out, dance it out. I could see you drumming it out. But you want to release that valve because, the old anger that's coming up, especially righteous anger, it needs a release valve. It's coming up for you to clear it, not for you to hold on to it. So, and your stomach sure doesn't need that. So find some ways to blow off some steam. And it's hard because we're mostly inside. I would throw things if I could. So maybe, I don't know. I envision you being able to throw things in your backyard or something. But, get something very physical and use your voice, scream it out, yell it out. That exercise we've done in school, that would be very helpful. And it's a purification of the fire. Does that make sense? So get that steam out so you can have some space. Nice. All right, Angie. Hi, dear. So your card is to call your spirit home. And I don't know if you've done any of the meditations with Neshi. She does a daily meditation around 11 Eastern time. And one of the things that she does in her practice is that you call your spirit home. And that's by saying your name out loud in each direction. And what I'm hearing is saying your name 3 times in each direction. So your full birth name. And if you have, if you've changed your name, you'd say your full birth name and the name that you go by now, so that you're calling all aspects of you home. But do that out loud so that you can feel them all come back to you. It's also when we have trauma, our soul can have fragments that get stuck in the past. So welcoming them to reunite with here I am, kind of like Marco Polo, with aspects of yourself that have left you, that you've given away, and calling them back to who you are and where you are. It'll help you feel more grounded and more and more like yourself. And I would invite you to do the practice daily. And if you have the opportunity to watch Neshi's meditation, the grounding meditation she does every day, just as a frame of reference on how to do that really well. Because when I've done the meditation with her, I as soon as I do it, I feel those pieces just come right back in. All right. Alyssa, hi, sweetie. Nice to have you. So your card is say, I'm sorry. So if you have this feeling like something wasn't right, or that, somebody might have taken something the wrong way, or what you said didn't come out quite the right way, and you feel like their feelings may have been hurt, saying I'm sorry is not a bad thing when we mean it. When we mean it, it is owning our mistakes, owning that, we're not perfect, and that we realize that how we react can impact other people. And usually when we have a need to say I'm sorry, it's because we reacted. We weren't in our fullest version of ourselves, and we reacted to the situation or the circumstances, and we lashed out at the person, and they may have taken it personally. So they reacted as well. But saying I'm sorry is a way to start healing the path back together for ourselves and the other. And maybe it's even saying I'm sorry to yourself because yourself for putting yourself in situations that maybe weren't as good as you would have liked, put yourself in situations that could have brought harm. Because forgiveness is a huge step in our growing our soul and really finding our way back home. Nice. All right, Christine. Nice to have you, dear. So your card is the say yes card. I had to say no, and yours is say yes. So in the say yes card, it's like sometimes our knee-jerk reaction is to say no. Can I? No. But maybe some new opportunities are coming up for you, and you've done it the same way for a long time, and so your knee-jerk reaction is go, no, I'm fine. But lots of times we're not. So when confronted with a yes or no question, take a deep breath and really search for what the right answer is for yourself. And, sometimes saying yes is putting ourselves out there, putting ourselves out on a limb, but it's also inviting new energy, new growth, and new change to come in. And so that's part of what I'm seeing for you. So don't be afraid to say yes, because it could lead to some wonderful new opportunities. And that's just lovely for you. So say yes. All right, Crystal. Yours is give yourself the best. I love her funky hairdo and all of that, and the beautiful cake. So, sometimes we cheap out on ourselves. We take what's good enough, and we don't invest in ourselves. And so this is saying, you deserve the best. Give yourself the best. So, and that can be in the buying, like sometimes we buy the cheaper version because, we want to save money or something like that. But is saving money going to bring you joy in that moment? And sometimes giving yourself the best is the best quality time, the best ingredients, the best flowers of the day, the best seat in the house, whatever it is. So you are worthy of having the best, and you don't have to explain yourself to anyone else. So don't cheap out on you. You deserve to have the best. And when we hold that worthiness, then we attract the best too, right? When we're like, I'm worthy of this, I'm having it. And the universe completely, and our team will completely back us up on that. So don't cheap out on yourself. You are worth every little bit of it. All right. Nice. Allie. Hi. So your card is talk to God. So what I see for you is like sitting in meditation, and asking questions of your spiritual team, of God, allowing the answers to come to you, like drop in. Sometimes we're not a hearer, but you can ask. One of the best ways that I do it with my students is you write a question that you want to ask your team or that you want to ask God, and then you wait and give yourself a couple breaths, and then you just start writing randomly whatever comes in. Don't censor it, just allow it to come in, and then read it back after, because often the wisdom that's in there, we realize it's not just us who are writing. And the more practice you have in doing that process, the more quickly the answer comes in, and the more it's not you talking. Like for me, the handwriting is completely different. But some people will just hear it, and that's fine as well. But if you aren't a hearer, then the automatic writing works very well for most people, because it takes the energy of the question, it grounds it into reality, and it asks the response to be grounded in reality too. All right. Robin. So your card is accept love. And so with the accept love card, again, I'm feeling that worthiness energy coming up. And so, if we feel like we can only receive a certain amount of love or help from others, some people share their help, their love through help. It's not necessarily that people are trying to buy your love, but that's the only way they know how to express love. So when we don't accept their help or their gifts, then it's like we're not accepting their love. So feel your way into how you can allow your heart open to receiving more from others, and that love is shown and given in many different ways. And don't make assumptions on how that is shown or given by others, because like I said, we each have our own way of expressing that. And so, our animals give love by snuggles, and sometimes people give love by giving us space, because we need a little space so we can breathe. And that can be a very loving gesture. That when we're cranky and they give us space, that's actually them giving us love. So allow yourself and your heart to open to all the ways that you can receive love, from all the different people, places, things that are connected to you. All right. Nice. All right. And I think this one is Dinah, if I'm accurate. Yes. Thanks, Cooper. Yep. Love your body. I get this card every so often too. We're all at home, and who the heck knows how much we're doing, what we're eating, how much we're exercising. Love your body for what it is right this moment. Whatever size, shape, color, whatever. It's your temple. It's the house of your spirit. And it is perfect for you and your energy. And it's just like having, we have this house that we love. Yeah, sometimes we change the paint and we might build an addition, or we might do something to the gardens. We can do that with our body. But the bones and the structure of the house are what we call home. So loving your body, loving where you're at right now. You don't need to change a thing. If you want to, think of it as, shifting the paint or giving it a little rehab. That's okay. But just love who you are and where you're at right now. So that was the last card, and thank goodness I made it through. I'm going to give one more card for Cooper. Isn't this interesting? This one is Speak with Love. And I think it's interesting. It's the gondolas, which aren't, on the water in Italy right now. But what I'm hearing is the speak with love energy is that when we speak with fear, we speak with worry and anxiety. We're worried about the what ifs and the could be's. And that's when we speak with fear. When we speak with love, we speak about possibilities and opportunities. So it's having positive speech when we're talking, because when we speak that way outward, that's what we receive. So if you don't want things to be coming to you that create more anxiety and more worry, then you need to send out things that are in love, and speaking in love. How's that? So thank you everybody for staying tuned for Soul Connections with me, Jo Labbé. I will be back tomorrow night for chakra sessions at 7 o'clock. Some wonderful wisdom about our energy and how it's shifting to manage the shifts that are going on. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. And thank you for helping me do my life's purpose, which is to heal the healers, so you can get out there and share your light. Have a great night. I'll see you guys next time.